Welcome into another episode of WD Learns VGC, where I'll be taking your Pokemon teams, playing them on the ranked ladder, and hopefully learning a thing or two. So let's hop into this video with a Kyogre team in Regulation G. Alright, so here we are with the Kyogre team for Regulation G. Now, this particular rental was sent to me by Austin Litovsky, or Tofsky VGC over on Twitter. They took this team to the Indianapolis Regionals, made day 2 with a 9-5 record, and placed 37th at that regional. Absolutely fantastic job, and congratulations to you for an epic finish at that regional. This team is absolutely top tier, and I can see why you placed so well at that tournament. Now, Kyogre hasn't been the kind of forefront for a lot of the VGC or the Regulation G teams that we've been seeing. It's been a lot of the Ice Rider Calyrex Shadow, Terrapagos, Koraidon, Miraidon. That's been a lot of what we've seen. Groudon and Kyogre have kind of given way to some of the other legendary Pokemon. But that doesn't mean that Kyogre is not viable in this regulation. It just hasn't been as explored as much. Now, in this particular generation that we have for Pokemon, Kyogre gets some pretty nice bonuses and Pokemon to add to a team. And so some of the interaction, at least that I learned from this beforehand by talking with Austin, were really cool, and it made sense why some of these Pokemon were picked. And I want to go over some of those reasons with you before we get into some of these matches. Now, with Kyogre, we all know that Kyogre brings Rain. And with Rain brings a lot of defensive positioning that you can put yourself in, and also some offensive positioning. So, a lot of these Pokemon fit very well with Kyogre. One, you have Amoonguss, who has a weakness to fire, but when you put him in an area where there's a lot of rain, well, you don't have to worry about that issue as much. And so Amoonguss becomes a very nice redirect on this team. That also gives you a lot of options for sporing, and also healing, which is kind of cool from Pollen Puff. So all in all, Amoonguss is a really good match with this kind of Kyogre team. Archaludon is one of the new ones from Generation 9 that I feel like it's such just a fantastic match on this team that it's kind of wild. And it was one of the pieces that I learned about this team was that, so you have this Dragon Steel type Pokemon. He resists a lot of the things that Kyogre is weak to. So say like a Fake Out or a Grassy Glide. A lot of those things aren't going to do a lot of damage to Archaludon, so it gives you a really nice swap out for your Kyogre when you think you're going to hit with like a really just a massive amount of damage, or maybe you're just going to know you're going to get faked out, and so you want to swap in your Archaludon. And there's another reason why you may want to do this. If you can soak up a really weak hit with Archaludon, it only helps you out even more because Archaludon has the stamina ability. So every time it gets hit, it boosts its defense. And if you're boosting your defense, you're boosting your body press damage from that Archaludon, which means that you are creating another monster in the rain just by using it for swapping and stuff like that. So it's a fantastic tool, and one that I was really excited about using on this team, because I haven't used Archaludon a whole lot in Regulation G. As for a matter of fact, I haven't really used a whole lot of Kyogre even in Sword and Shield, and so for the most part this is generally a newer team to me, and that is exactly what I want to do in this series. I want to play a lot of new teams that I'm not used to, things that I can really learn from, things that I can pick up from, and start to overall grow as a VGC player, and hopefully help you at home grow as a VGC player as well. So that is the whole goal for this WD Learns VGC series. Now, for the other part of this team, we do also have Urshifu. Now, this is the water type Urshifu, which does a ton of damage. We've seen it in almost every regional since it's been released. It's just a powerhouse. And when you match it with the rain type Pokemon like Kyogre, you just boost your damage even more. And so it just ends up being just a fantastic Pokemon. You end up giving it a choice scarf because really you've got a lot of your, you've got your damage from your Kyogre. You've got some support from Amoonguss. You've got damage and a tank from Archaludon. Urshifu can just really do what it wants to do and just pump out as much damage as possible. And another way to do that is by giving a choice scarf so that it's super fast. So that's another really cool part of this team. So we've got on top of that, the pinnacle of prankster Pokemon at this point in the game. There are a couple, like we've got Whimsicott, we've got Tornadus, obviously. Sableye is used a little bit, but really like Tornadus is that Pokemon. You give this Pokemon a Dark Terra, so it ends up becoming immune to other prankster Pokemon. You end up giving it a Covert Cloak so it can't be faked out. Now you have just this thing that is always doing exactly what it wants to and never has to worry about being stopped. and that is a huge problem for opposing teams. So you've got Bleak Windstorm, obviously in the rain, 100% accuracy. You're gonna be hitting a ton of those and doing good damage and potentially slowing your opponents. You got Tailwind to give you a boost in speed because, well, you need some sort of a speed control in any VGC team. It's huge and it's crucial. So that gives us a really nice speed advantage. Rain Dance in case there's a, maybe there's a Groudon on the other team or a Crydon, they swap and they change it out. Maybe there's a Whimsicott. There's always a nice way to have Rain being brought back up without having to swap in your Kyogre. And then Taunt. I think Taunt Tornadus is super clutch right now. There's a lot of Pokemon that are either trying to set up like Terapagos doing Calm Mind. You got a lot of Amoongusses out there dropping spores. You've got, I mean, there's a lot. There's other Tornaduses out there doing stuff. I mean, there's a lot of Pokemon that can be taunted right now and that will help you out. And so I think having a taunt Pokemon on the team is actually really big. And now to round out this team, we have Chin-Pao, who I feel like recently kind of wasn't used as much. He kind of was like an old toy that got played with a bunch and then people kind of stopped playing with him. It's a fantastic Pokemon. There's definitely never going to be a time where I feel like it's out of the meta. It's too good of a Pokemon and its ability is too fantastic. And you match that with an Urshifu and an Archaludon who are putting out physical damage. Chin-Pao can be really good. It also gives us some coverage into having an ice type move on the team. Some dark type, some prankster, like some priority coverage with Sucker Punch, and then Sacred Sword is always great. You can never go wrong with the solid Sacred Sword on Chin-Pao. It does a lot of damage and it will help you get through some of those kind of bulkier Pokemon. So all in all, a really fantastic thought out team. It works really well together. There's a lot of different options you can do with the team, but from what I've heard from Austin is that really the main way you want to go generally is just opening up with Kyogre and seeing how much damage you can pump out. Kyogre does a lot of damage even into resisted Pokemon, and so getting ahead off the bat is always a fantastic way to go. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get into 2 games on the ranked ladder. Win or lose, it does not matter. We're still gonna talk about them either way so that we can learn either why we lost or why we won. So let's get into some games and figure out this team. All right, so here we are with our first game with this team. And we have up on deck a Shadow Rider, which is going to be very difficult because they've got a couple Pokemon that really don't care about Kyogre too much. So we've got Corviknight, who is a Steel Flying, can be kind of an issue. We've also got Rillaboom, who's definitely going to be on. I can almost guarantee we're going to be facing a Rillaboom in this matchup. And that Moltres can be a little bit spicy. But one thing I do see is that they don't have any sort of prankster ability to get up Tailwind. So I think us getting up Tailwind will be crucial. Obviously they do have the Corviknight who can do it, but they also have potentially Fake Out. So I think what we'll do is we'll actually open up the Tornadus and the Kyogre. We do have Protect on Kyogre, so I think we're gonna get Faked Out. I can't always Protect, or I can swap in the Archaludon if I want to, which I think I am going to in this particular situation. And then who's gonna be my best option to get rid of that Corviknight? I'm kind of thinking about bringing the Urshifu. I don't know how much I want to bring the Amoonguss. I don't think it's going to be a Trick Room battle. I think we're going to bring Urshifu in the back. I was really kind of stuck between Chin-Pao. I think Chin-Pao could do really well with a couple of these Pokemon. But we'll see. The Galarian Moltres has always been one of those Pokemon where it can be a problem if you don't take it out, especially that Berserk. It can just get itself boosted and it does that massive spread damage, and it can be a little overwhelming at times if you're not taking care of it or planning for it. So we got Calyrex and Rillaboom, which means we do have a Fake Out incoming. So what we will probably end up doing in this one is, because I know that I'll be able to get my Tailwind off, the other opposing team does not have any sort of Tailwind pressure at all. So I think our best course of action in this one is going to be to Tailwind and then just Protect. Now the other option is that we could potentially go for, you know, a Bleakwind Storm on this one, just to get some damage off and stuff like that. You know, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to try that. I think what I'm going to do is, because of this Calyrex, I think I'm just going to Bleak Wind Storm once. Because I don't think that... The only problem is if I lose my Tailwind, though, I am really in a bad situation. So I think I do need a Tailwind. We're going to Tailwind. It was kind of one of those things where I was like, I really wanted to Bleak Wind on that first turn, but if he does by chance target the Tornadus with a double, say he, you know, Grassy Glides, or, you know, he does something in the Tornadus and he kills it, I lose my Tailwind pressure, and then at that point, the Calyrex Shadow will be faster than my entire team for the rest of the game, and that's not something I want to get into. So I think that is kind of the biggest issue that we want to make sure and deal with. So he U-turns. So now he's stuck here. He doesn't have Fake Out. He does have Grassy Glide, but if we really want to, we can Grass Terror to get rid of that weakness. So I think that's might be what we do. Let's check out his team really quick. He doesn't really have a good swap into a... He could Grassy Glide, but we're going to be Grass Terra now, so we're going to get rid of that weakness. Ooh, he's swapped out. This could potentially be very good for us. I mean, the Calyrex at this point in time is probably going to protect. I would be really surprised if it didn't protect at this point. And if it doesn't protect, I think that we are going to be in a really, really good spot, because we'll probably knock out both of those Pokemon. So we'll see how that goes. He does protect. That also does mean that we are going to get the Flutter Mane and remove it off of the field. So now what we've kind of done with ourselves, we've set ourselves up to be in a position where we have speed control. And even though they do have a Calyrex, they can't attack first with it. And that's kind of going to be their problem. Now, they can definitely bring out another Fake Out on this next turn. And that's fine. We can always protect. Or we can swap. So, I mean, there's options we can do. Okay, so we do have the Incineroar coming out. So, I could taunt the Calyrex so that it stops protecting, but it's... Or I could Bleak Wind. All right, where's the Fake Out going? Into the Kyogre. They didn't want to take the Kyogre damage, as is expected. So we get an Astro Barrage out. We're going to lose our Tornadus. He'll protect next turn. We just got to really worry about the Calyrex. The Calyrex is going to be a problem. And now we've lost our Tailwind. What's Life Orb? So I think if we bring in the Urshifu right now, what we will do is he can't necessarily protect, and he has no Fake Out pressure on this particular turn. He can't Fake Out. So if you, I think this really will pin them into a corner that they don't really necessarily want to be in, because if they protect the Shadow Rider, well, they're just going to take this Urshifu water and they're going to die. So chances are they're probably going to swap in the Rillaboom for the Calyrex. I would imagine so. But all in all, this is definitely not a position that I don't think they want to be in this one. I was kind of debating on how I wanted to do that because I was guessing where he was going to swap in the Rillaboom. I figured that the Calyrex was going to get swapped out because Tailwind is starting to come up. But honestly, I think with how much damage this is going to do to the Rillaboom, I still think that the Water Spout picks up the Rillaboom, which means we're going to pick up the Rillaboom and the Incineroar. And that would mean that it's just the Calyrex Shadow by itself, and that's not where he wants to be. Yep. So now it's just the Shadow. And I mean, yeah, it's Calyrex Shadow. It's definitely a rough Pokemon to go up against, but we still have 3 Pokemon. So as long as we play it right, we should be fine. Obviously, we don't have Tailwind. We do have a Choice Scarf Urshifu in the range. Don't want to miss. We're faster because of Choice Scarf, and that is game. It was a lock-in for game 1. Fantastic job. The team worked out really well, and it just showed just how strong Kyogre is just right off the bat, and how you need to utilize the swap-ins, and like that one with the Incineroar Rillaboom, knowing when to pull in specific Pokemon depending on when their fake-out pressure is and stuff like that can really help you set yourself up for a really solid end game. I think that one turn where we Surging Striked into the Shadow Rider slot and just Water Spouted, because we still had full HP, it was just a really safe turn, and that was kind of where the whole thing swayed in our favor pretty heavily. So good game. Let's get into the next one. All right, so here we are with game number 2, and this one's going to be a little bit different. It looks very similar to the team that I think Wolfie used a little while ago with the Clefairy, Shadow Calyrex. We've got a Prankster Tailwind, so we've got that to deal with. Also got Rillaboom, Mineshaw, and Chi-Yu. So I'll just looking at this team. This team's going to be very difficult. One, their restricted Pokemon is faster than ours, and they also have the same level of Prankster Tailwind. That's going to be, so we're not going to necessarily be faster than their Shadow Rider, which can be a problem. We also have the fact that we have a Redirect and a Clefairy, which can really be a difficult issue with our Urshifu. He's not going to do a ton of damage. Mineshaw has Wide Guard. We have Rillaboom. Like, there's a lot of things on this team that really just, oh, it's gonna be a brutal one. I think I'm actually gonna bring the Urshifu to start off with. I'm gonna try something a little bit differently. I think with the Choice Scarf Urshifu, I think that if we get in a position where it's a Shadow Rider and Tornadus versus my Tornadus, I think having the Scarf Urshifu will give me a better chance of knocking out their Calyrex. So I think that's the reasoning why I went with that opening. I think it'll give me a better option into the Torn Shadow Rider. Well, that was not what I was expecting. Interesting. Let's swap in the old Archaludon. Hopefully soak up a fake out, get our stamina boost up a little bit here. And who knows? Maybe we'll get a nice little Bleak Wind off on him. But we also have to hit the Bleak Wind. Since we don't have the rain up, the Bleak Wind is not 100%, so it is a chance of just, who knows? I very much doubt that. Okay, so we faked out the Arch, so that's good. And I'm guessing what he ended up doing was going for like a Wood Hammer. He probably wanted to just absolutely just annihilate the Urshifu, which I can see it. Totally not a wrong play. But he went for the Tornadus. It was interesting. That wasn't, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I figured he would have doubled into it. I don't know why he did that, but let's see. Now, do I want... I don't know if this was the right play. I'll be 100% honest. I didn't know what I really wanted to do on this one. I'll be honest. I really didn't. I don't know what I wanted to do. But I know I wanted a Tailwind. To at least get that up. But I'm guessing he's going to take out the Tornadus with something. He's either... So, like, he could close combat our Chaladon, which, I mean, yeah, fair enough. But we just got another defensive boost, so now we're at +2 defense. That was kind of what I was expecting. This was the reason why I went with the grass Terra on that one. So now we're +2 defense, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Torn? No, it's his own Shadow Rider. So I think what we're going to do on this one, we're just going to Rain Dance, and we are going to Electro Shot it. So if we Electro... So he could protect, but I think it still gives us a +1 special attack, even if he does protect. Because we boosted. Oh, he's guaranteed he protects. There's no way he doesn't. He didn't protect? Does he have a Focus Sash? Might have a Focus Sash. If he doesn't have a Focus Sash, this would be crazy. I think we would knock it out. Oh, we don't. It wasn't even enough damage. He has a berry. It's a little bit bulky. Oh, that's scary. That's not good. So what we can do here is taunt that Tornadus so he can't Tailwind and then just kill his thing. Because at the moment we have Tailwind. They currently do not have Tailwind. So as long as he doesn't Terra into a Dark Terra Tornadus, we should be sitting pretty fantastically. But we'll see how this turn goes. Taunt. Very nice. Is there anything to stop Taunt? He fell for it. Can't use Tailwind. He's not faster. We use Electro Shot. We should kill the Caloric Shadow, which means I think at this particular point at that turn, we probably won the game. Let's go. So Shadow Rider's down. They don't have Tailwind and they can't get it. And for the most part, they have Pokemon that can't really do a whole lot. And our Chaladon now already has +2 defense. So like at this point, there's generally points in games where you're like, yeah, like it's either a win or a lose. At this point, we've set up to be in a really good spot. So he could Bleak Wind. Obviously, we are Grass Terra our Chaladon now, and that would hurt. We do have Tailwind for one more turn. So I think my best option right now is actually just going to be to Bleak Wind to get rid of that thing, and then I'm just gonna... We still have Kyogre and Urshifu. Like, am I really all that worried? I'm just gonna Electro Shot. It's fine. We drop its speed. That would be hilarious. A Shalodon didn't even go down. Okay, so now it's funny. I got really quiet there because I was thinking, I was like, all right, how am I going to actually finalize and finish out this match? Because now we've got Rillaboom with Fake Out, we've got Grassy Train, we've got the Tornadus, who will probably have Tailwind coming up here soon. So we really got to make sure we don't take a lot of damage and get out Pokemon that we need to in order to finish this one off. So as long as we can get rid of one of them, we might be all right. Because I mean, we're gonna take some damage on this one either way. Yeah, what I probably should have done was just protected the Kyogre on that turn, because now I just took some damage at the end, and I could have just stayed at full HP and given myself a better chance to live whatever this Grassy Glide is from Rillaboom. We have to kill the Rillaboom. Like, if we can kill the Rillaboom, then we should be in a better spot. That's actually not even gonna kill the Rillaboom now. That's unfortunate. That Sunny Day was huge. I wasn't expecting the Sunny Day though. That was good. I think that actually, that won it. That was really, really good. That was a solid play. So I think with this one, where we lost, or at least where I messed up, was one, I didn't protect with Kyogre on that one turn where I got faked out. That was really, it was really risky, and I didn't need to take that risk. And then the Sunny Day caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that, and that one we could have picked a different move and probably been in a better position. But fantastic work. That was good on their part. I mean, really, I think the only thing we can hope for is if they miss a Bleak Wind, because now it is Sunny Day, and I don't even know if this is going to knock it out. Oh, it did. Okay. So I think now we just have to hope for Bleak Wind misses, and even then it's still, like, it's going to be hard to knock out a Flying-type Pokemon with a Water-type move in the sun. Gonna hit the Bleak Wind. Nice job. It was close, and like I said, we could have won that one if we played a little bit better on a couple of those end game turns. And I feel like with me in particular, just as a player, that's been where I've struggled a lot, is finishing up some of these end game turns where I do really well in the beginning, and then I make a bad play kind of near the end of the match that really throws off the end game. And so that's something I gotta watch out for. Yo, thank you all so much for checking out the return of WD Learns VGC with you, where we'll be taking rental teams from the community, playing them on the ranked ladder, and just learning a little bit more about VGC, especially with teams that I'm not really familiar with. And this week is definitely one of those teams. I've never really played Kyogre. I'm not familiar with rain teams. It's a very new team concept to me as a player, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this team. there were some different things that I learned about the team that now when I go and play against it, I think I'll feel a little more comfortable with actually knowing what their plan is. And that's kind of the biggest part about this series is I want to understand more VGC teams so that when I'm facing them, I can get a better understanding of what they're trying to do so that I can counter that and come out with a win. So hopefully you'll be able to get some of that knowledge as well out of this YouTube series. And if there's anything in the comments that you want to let me know, maybe there was a specific play that I made that you're like, hey, that wasn't very good, you could have done this. I'm all for hearing it. That's why I'm posting these. I would love to learn from the community as well. There's a lot of really good VGC players out there, and your knowledge is priceless. So I would love to hear about it. And if there's ever a time where you want to submit a team for me to use in one of these YouTube videos, definitely hop on over to my Discord. There is a specific channel for posting rental teams where I will definitely grab them, or you can just DM me on Twitter, Discord, wherever it is end up being. Let me know and I'll be more than happy to grab the team and work it into one of these videos. But again, thank you all so much for tuning into this video. I hope you have a fantastic time out in Paldea, the Kid Academy, and now the Blueberry Academy. And until next time, trainers, peace out.